Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here with yet another PW Unlimited podcast, because what day is it? It's Wednesday. Nick, what's going on?
It is Wednesday. God, you know what's such a great feeling? Has
What's up?
nothing to do with wrestling. Has nothing to do with Wednesday. But just I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling through like Instagram stories of like my friends, and then you get like the sponsored Instagram stories.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's from New Era.
Okay.
And you know what it is?
What?
It's the Oakland Athletics 2018 postseason cap.
Nice.
Woo! God, playoff season's here. Hockey season's coming back. Basketball season's coming back. Football season is
Preseason
kicking
basketball
off.
next week.
I'm in such a damn good. There's so much sports going on, so much wrestling going on.
I'm going to say
There's
it
just-
right now before we
Go
get
ahead.
into wrestling. I never thought that I would be having to cheer for LeBron James. I can hear him. We're going to technicalize.
All right, so I can hear you now, but we're not online anymore. Now we're back.
We never went off.
We went off on my end, dude.
I didn't. No, I've still got the green light on mine.
That's weird. That's really weird. Steve, yes, the A's clinched the wild card spot. Right now, it's a battle of who's getting home field advantage, us or the Yankees. It's not going to be the Yankees because the Yankees are bad, and I hate the Yankees. Everyone should hate the Yankees. This is just a fact. You should never like the Yankees.
But
this isn't a baseball
Well,
podcast.
as I was trying to say before that, really quick, I was trying to say that I never thought I'd have to root for LeBron James, but now I do.
You don't have to.
But I'm a Lakers fan.
It doesn't mean you're not a LeBron. It doesn't mean you have
Yeah,
to be a
but
LeBron.
I'm gonna want him to do good so we actually win some games this season.
That's true. Folks, we're going to be talking a little bit about New Japan with the Fighting Spirit Unleashed card and two people that will be there live.
Yes,
All
sir.
in two, maybe? Question mark. All in two, maybe?
But there
We're
was
going to be talking a little bit more stuff.
there's
And
something I want to talk about before that.
Something big. Something
So
big.
it's WWE related. So they have Rusev Day. The whole thing is, what day is it? It's Rusev Day.
Wednesday, the 26th. And if you guys want to text into the show, it's 510-906-1341. Go ahead.
So they do the whole Rusev Day thing. You know, what day is it? It's Rusev Day. Every day is Rusev Day. Do you think they've oversaturated it with now having the Lana Day shirts? And as we saw this week on SmackDown, Happy Aiden Day shirts.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Do you think they oversaturated every single Suplex City shirt or every single Stone Cold 316 shirt?
No. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I mean, I get that. But what I'm saying is, you have Rusev Day. You can do as much as you want with Rusev Day. But when you start branching that out to Lana Day shirts and Aiden Day shirts, the whole gimmick is every day is Rusev Day. So is every day Rusev Day, Lana Day, Aiden Day? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe this kind of feud between them can kind of like end like who
But the
gets
Aiden-
their own day.
But the Aiden shirt technically came out 3 weeks ago on Shop before he turned on
that's
Rusev.
fine.
Huh?
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. They can use that as a catalyst, like, oh, it's Rusev Day, and Aiden comes out. No, it's Aiden Day. Lana's like, it's Lana Day, but Lana's probably.
You're cutting in and out,
I'd
bud.
really like this. This feud needs to do something. This
Yeah.
feud needs to be a lot more important than a lot of people are probably making it seem. This could be a really, really good because Rusev's a great wrestler. He's a very reliable, good wrestler. This could be the chance for Aiden English to come out and impress some people. Go like have a match that isn't on the pre-show. Be part of a pretty, I wouldn't say high-profile feud, but a feud that's on a lot of people's minds because Rusev is so over with the fans that he's gonna get some of that rub. You know, there's been a lot of times where they've tried to use the success of one person to rub off onto another person. A really famous example I have that kind of worked but kind of didn't work was with Paul Heyman and when Cesaro was a Paul Heyman guy. All they did was it gave Paul Heyman a reason to come on TV and talk about Brock Lesnar beat the streak. But they were thinking, Paul Heyman's cutting this promo and this guy next to him in the ring, Cesaro, he does some pretty cool stuff. Then that kind of gave him the rub of like, hey, maybe Cesaro is a legit guy. Before I continue on, I want to say thank you to Kristen McNutt for the $5. I have a theory about the Aiden proof for next week that the stuff with The Rock and Lana in Milwaukee, because he says the Wisconsin wheelbarrow to Lana. I really want to know. So do you know what's that one website for slang words?
For slang words?
Urban Dictionary.
Oh,
So
okay.
the, jeez, all right. The Wisconsin wheelbarrow. The Wisconsin wheelbarrow position consists of intercourse standing up against a wall. The man holds woman's legs apart like a wheelbarrow as she leans against the wall. Jesus Christ.
Hey, at least you're not going as far off the wall as Sean Ross Sapp did and said that Lana probably had sex with the ghost of John Candy.
Jesus, I don't even know who John.
He freaking linked Lana having a secret in Milwaukee to the first Home Alone movie.
Sean's a weird guy. I worry about Sean sometimes. Like, I genuinely worry about Sean. I kind of just want to send him a DM like, hey, Sean, is everything okay at home? Do you smoke crack? Do you just smoke crack before the listening people? I'm kidding. I love Sean to death.
Taking too much of that blue chew.
Yeah, too much of that. That's probably not a good thing to overdose on. But Borat Trolls here says, is there, what's the update on Liv, Sasha, and Bliss? We'll talk about that in a minute. But going back to the rubbing off kind of success thing. Rubbing off just sounds like masturbating. The Wisconsin wheelbarrow thing. But back to the thing about Paul Heyman and Cesaro and correlating it to Rusev and Aiden is, I mean, I really hope this turns into someone really liking Aiden and giving him something to do. Because when the Vaudevillains broke up, what was your first thought?
What the hell are they going to do now? Like, I knew that Aiden English would probably get used as a jobber to some extent. But it was Simon Gotch that I was really worried about. And eventually he did get released.
Simon Gotch, oh God, I'd say he's the more talented of the two.
True,
I'd say that
but
personally.
He had nothing character-wise. At least Aiden can do the singing gimmick. And they're not going to fire Aiden. Do you know why?
Why?
They don't
yeah, I know. Yeah.
What?
Because isn't he in a relationship with
He's married to Eddie's daughter.
Yeah.
He's married to Shaw Guerrero, the daughter of Eddie and Vicky Guerrero.
There you go.
And so if they ever want to do something where they need, like, say they wanted to do something with Eddie's likeness or his name or something, or they wanted to do something with Vicky and they wanted to, they needed her permission. They don't want to have her upset. Oh, you fired my son-in-law for no reason.
Sergio Gomez, yes, that is correct. Simon Gotch or Simon Grimm is doing great outside of the WWE. He's wrestling in a ton of shows. I've gotten the chance to watch a few of them online.
Isn't he doing like an MMA gimmick?
I don't really know what the gimmick is, to be honest with you. I really don't know. But he's a very well put together guy. I really like Simon Gotch. I loved him so much. Steve, I don't know. They took a long walk on the beach together, and Aiden looked into her eyes. I'm like, I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know.
Who knows?
Like, what I really like about Simon Gotch is that it was once he left the WWE, he does a lot of these Q&As on Instagram where like you can leave a little question box. And everyone's question is like, what's your biggest advice for getting to the WWE? He's like, don't take advice. Don't make your goal the WWE. Exactly. Like he seems like one of the guy that's like, just very well put together, man. Sergio Gomez, a white guy doing something with Latino heat will be hilarious. I don't know if they'd go with that. I really don't know if they'd do that. I don't think they could. I don't.
Here's my thing. So I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's going to come out that Lana told Aiden that she loves him. What would you think would be worse? She's saying that she loves another man, or that she just cheated in one night?
I don't want to think about that. That's like heartbreaking.
Because my thing
is heartbreaking. Jeez, Tim. That's like what would you rather? What would you rather have? Punched in the face or slapped in the face? Pick one. Jeez.
Well, it's more like. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to.
No, it's not even comparable. It's just a heartbreak.
Because I mean, if it's the well, she cheated once kind of thing, forgiveness. But if she tells you, oh, I love another man, okay, well, that can last more than one night.
So here's my thing. If it's not Aiden, how are they going to go about Aiden knowing about it? Like, if the night in Milwaukee has nothing to do with Aiden, how are they going to go about Aiden?
Lana filmed it on her phone. She said, hey, I have an issue with my phone. And he tried to help her fix her phone. and found the video and sent it to his Dropbox.
What? That's so weird. No. I don't know. Like, I really don't know how they're going to go about the rest of this feud. I wonder if that, like, night in Milwaukee thing was done either off the cuff. Like, not off the cuff, but like, hey, say this, but if we can't think of anything to do with it, we could just scrap it because we're WWE and we're psycho.
And now you got the rumors of, oh, this is going to be how they get Rock at SmackDown 1000. I doubt it.
Alex, no, I didn't. I didn't see the tweet that Lance Storm said. Alex, are you going to New Japan? I asked you that earlier, but for some reason you didn't reply to me. Steve Moon says, wait, remember when Enzo tried to bang Lana? Wasn't that in Milwaukee? It doesn't matter because Rusev came in and like
killed Enzo.
Literally.
I mean, real one.
So, I want to talk a little bit about SmackDown 1000 because WWE had posted online, you know, as we're on the topic of Rusev, Lana, Aiden, all the SmackDown people. They posted a SmackDown 1000 match. I'm pulling it up right now. They posted online like dream matches that we want to see.
Oh yeah.
For SmackDown 1000. I want to know, what are your guys' dream matches for SmackDown 1000? What?
Hello? I think we lost Nick again. Nick.
Like, oh, some dream ones
Hold
would
on.
be. Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You keep cutting out. Like you probably said two whole sentences that I didn't even hear.
I think it might just be my internet. My internet's probably just butt. I'm sorry.
I don't
Can
know.
you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
Now before you get into the dream matches, have you seen the matches that are being advertised by the Capital One Arena in Washington?
No, tell me.
So they do have AJ versus Joe, the title on the line.
I like
Now you got to think this advertising has not been updated since before Hell in a Cell. Daniel Bryan versus Miz, Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton.
Okay.
Nakamura defending the title but no opponent, and The Undertaker appearing. And then it says also appearing the tag team champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, which they're not the tag champions anymore. And then it says women's champion Carmella. But those three matches, AJ, Joe, Bryan, Miz, Hardy, Orton, which Hardy Orton's probably not going to happen.
Hardy Orton's probably off the table at this point, but I'm going to take a look at this real quick. A lot of people are saying Ray and AJ. That was the one that WWE kind of teased. Joe and Taker would be really fun. Yeah, it keeps dropping in and out, guys. I'm really sorry. It might be my internet being dumb. I got to reset my router tomorrow.
Your router? Roto-Rooter?
Christopher just says, okay, I'm back. I had to do parenting duties. I'm sorry, man. You think they will acknowledge the first ever SmackDown tag champs? No, they won't.
Huh?
Do you know who wasn't Chris Benoit half of the first ever SmackDown tag champions?
Was it? I thought it was. Hold on, I'm gonna double check this. I thought it was Eddie and Ray.
No. Was he around?
Huh. Well, I know there was Eddie and Ray. There was Kurt and Benoit.
I think Kurt and Benoit were the first one. I think they were the first.
Might have been. I'm gonna double check it.
God, oh God, I got a little bit to talk about Benoit later. I don't know if it's gonna be an okay thing, but I've got a little bit to say about it. I'm gonna look back. King Booker versus R-Truth would be a lot of fun. The New Age Outlaws versus the New Day, that would be a lot of fun. Batista and Joe. Wow, Batista. Just thinking about
that would be a good match.
Batista in his prime and Joe just now would go. Would be such a phenomenal match. Truth versus Lil Jimmy. That's a funny one. Steve, I don't know. I assume it might be it has to be longer than the normal episode of SmackDown.
No, it'll be a 2-hour show.
I doubt it. Yeah, it was Benoit and Angle as the first.
Yeah, I think that's what I found.
Edge and Hogan were tag team champions. That's such a weird fact.
Right, but when Stephanie first introduced the tag titles on SmackDown, Edge and Ray were put together.
Yeah, they were put together, but Benoit and Angle were the first SmackDown tag champs. I'm gonna trust the man that has the same last name as me.
Speaking of tag team champions, did you see who is now the longest reigning tag team champion in WWE history?
Kofi.
Kofi, with over 955 days. Combined with all of his different... Can you name the different men that Kofi held tag titles with?
Oh, God. Maybe? Ray? No.
No.
Miz? No.
No.
Evan Bourne.
Yes.
The New Day.
Yes.
Who else did he hold tag gold?
Two more.
Truth?
Mm-hmm. One more.
So only one more. I already said Air Boom. I already said
Correct.
New Day.
Correct.
Was this... I do want... Are they still with the company?
No.
I'm not looking at chat in case I spoil. Oh, God. Who could it be?
You want me to tell you?
No, give me a hint.
Well, they're no longer with the company. They're no longer in pro wrestling.
Oh, was it...
Chat finally figured it out.
Was it Punk?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got it, and I didn't even have to look at chat. You guys tried to spoil it for me. I see you. I see you.
Yep. Kofi has a combined, as of today, 955 days combined over his 8 different tag team title reigns.
Ooh, okay. So Alex sent me Lance Storm's tweet.
What do you say?
Advice Randy Savage gave me after I got married. I did an angle with my wife one time, and I ain't got no wife no more. So, that could be kind of scary. You rascals tried to spoil it for me. I see you, you naughty boys. Wasn't it? Was he champions with Tyson Kidd? No, you're thinking of Cesaro.
Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, and Tyson Kidd and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Or should I say D.H. Smith?
I really, really like Cesaro and Tyson Kidd as tag team champions when they did the swing into the kick. Oh,
mm-hmm. Right around WrestleMania 31 time.
Yeah.
I remember them defending the tag titles on the WrestleMania 31 kickoff show, where the Usos came out in San Francisco 49ers colors.
That's neat. That's adorable.
Well, their early childhood was spent and lived in San Francisco before they moved to Florida.
My mom lived in San Francisco. He passed Billy Gunn for that record.
Yep, Billy Gunn was 953. Correct.
Do you think Kofi's Hall of Fame bound at any point?
I mean, if Coco Beware's in the Hall of Fame, Kofi's got to be eventually. No disrespect. Stefan Flores says, who's the best general manager? William Regal?
Yes, Regal.
William Regal as commissioner back in 99-2000. Or, 2000-2001.
You know what? I'm going to give two answers. I'm going to say NXT Regal, and I'm going to say SmackDown Teddy Long.
Make a tag match, player.
I know. Hey, you want to hear a fun... Hey, do you want your fun wrestling fact of the day?
Go for it.
Lita and Kane's baby would have been 14 today if Snitsky hadn't punted it.
That was 14 years ago?
No, it was 14 years ago, dude. To the
what
day.
The hell?
I know. That's so weird. Yeah, 14 years ago today.
Wow.
Yeah. Kayfabe News posted it. I love that fact. I love Kayfabe News so much.
14 years?
That's 14 years
I remember that like it was yesterday. Lita took a bump. She said she lost the baby. And then Snitsky punted a baby into the crowd. And then he started the "it's not my fault" gimmick.
Oh, what a gimmick that did not age.
You were 5 years old.
I was 5 years old when that started. I was just getting into wrestling when that happened. I was just getting into it at the time. I was that young. A lot of like the best parts of wrestling. You know what? I say the best parts of wrestling, and I call them the best because they're my earliest memories and kind of what got me into wrestling. That's why I call them the best. But if we really had to classify like a best time in wrestling, God, I'd call it right now, because there's just so much happening. What a
True.
lot of I understand that a lot of people are saying, like, we need the territories back. Well, to be honest with you guys, the independent scene feels a lot like territories to me. There
Well,
are so many independent scenes that you have never heard of before, and they trade just like territories. They'll trade talent.
and here's the thing. With the territories, it was like you had one promotion for every different area. And I kind of feel like there's that, and then there's all the little. There's like in like every area you go to, you go to L.A., you go to San Francisco, you go to Chicago, you go to Florida. They all have their one big promotion, and then their little sub promotions, I guess you could say. Like you go to L.A., their big promotion is PWG. You go to San Francisco, Northern California, they've got APW. You go to Chicago, they got AAW. You go to Orlando, a lot of times that's where MLW runs out of.
Mm-hmm.
So you have so it's almost like your territory system, where it's, you go to these major markets, you've got your major independent promotion there, and there's all the little ones that you can also check out. Nicholas with a $10 super chat donation says Nards.
This 3 days in a row, he just says Nards. I really appreciate him.
I love it.
Yeah, Stephen Florence says this is the best time in wrestling ever. I've got to agree with you, man. And I really think it also has to do a lot with the influence of social media. For example, I don't know if you remember the spot where the guy dropped an elbow off like a what are they called? Like, not steady beams, like support beams to hold up two other
Scaffolding?
beams. There's one in the middle. No, there's the wall and then the beam in the middle that connects to the wall.
Sport
He
beam.
basically he went to drop an elbow and the guy threw a table, completely missed a table, elbow slammed on the ground. Do you remember that gif? It was in like a high school gym. It was
I
literally called
believe I
that.
do.
Like if you look up that elbow drop, it'll tell you. But what I want to talk about that is 20, 30 years ago, you would have no idea that happened. Only the people in that town would have known. But with the go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it real fast. Finish.
I was just gonna say, with the rise of social media, a lot of these guys are getting a lot of mainstream attention, and that's really good and scary at the same time. Presenting yourself on social media as a wrestler, as an entertainer, even us as YouTubers, like, we have to promote our, like, kind of picture ourselves in ways that not only fit what we do for a living, but we also got to make sure we're not offending anyone within our things that we say. And it's like, it's a great time to be an indie wrestler, and it's a terrible time to be an indie wrestler on social media because of just what's going on in the world and things like that. And it's just kind of crazy to think about.
Right. Sergio Gutierrez says Texas has Wrestle Circus. I'm pretty sure Wrestle Circus is done already. Like, they didn't last.
I think Wrestle Circus is done.
I know they had issues with getting in certain buildings, and then they had to cancel a couple shows, and I honestly haven't heard anything of Wrestle Circus in a long time.
I really, because they were based out of Austin.
Yeah.
I love Wrestle Circus to death. Christopher, I do remember that. It was a very, very good time. But yeah, I don't know. Independent wrestling is just a lot of fun.
Now, what I was trying to
I
get at,
know we have stuff to talk about.
well, I wanted to say one last thing about the independent thing.
Yeah.
So you were saying, social media. Anyone can take a video with their phone and post it up social media. But another thing that is really helping make this boom we have right now legit is streaming services, where almost any company can just go grab any kind of camera and just start streaming their shows. And so that's another way where it's just like, you can go out there. And a lot of these now with Twitch, there's a good amount of these smaller promotions that are, maybe they're not airing live, but they're filming their products, they're editing their shows, and they're putting them up on Twitch for free, also on YouTube for free, to grow their fan base before they say, hey, we see that you guys like this content. You've got us X amount of views every week on our YouTube and our Twitch. What would you think of us doing a iPay-per-view kind of deal?
I love it. You know who does a lot of replays on their Twitch?
Who?
Hood Slam. They'll just
Yes.
put them up for free. They'll put up old pay-per-views for free. Dude, if you have nothing
That's
to
what
do,
Wrestle
just
Circus used to do.
yeah, just load up.
Wrestle
You can
Circus
literally
started.
load up Twitch. Mm-hmm.
Wrestle Circus basically started the whole wrestling on Twitch thing.
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about, as we're starting to talk about like pay-per-views and other things like that. Let's talk. Do you want to talk about the Fighting Spirit Unleashed card now, or do you want to talk about this Brie Bella botch shit? Because a lot of people want us to talk about it.
You want to talk more about Brie?
Well, because Sean posted some stuff about Brie. And I know you posted the video about it, but
Right.
I feel like not a lot of people maybe watched the video. And I really, really want your guys' opinions on what happened. Text it in 510-906-1341, 510-906-1340, Uno.
So let me run down exactly what happened.
Yeah.
First off, that was never supposed to be a 6-woman tag. I don't know when the plans got changed, but like an hour before the show went on the air, WWE.com still had it listed as Brie Bella versus Ruby Riott in a singles match. So I don't know when they actually changed that into the 6-woman tag where, Natalya had to take the pin. But with that, they made a 6-woman tag. Brie was in with Liv Morgan, and she started doing the yes kicks. You see her do, I think it's 3 or 4 kicks. Then she goes to throw another kick, and her leg gets lifted higher when she throws that kick. She throws that kick and hits Liv Morgan right in the face, shin and all. Liv immediately basically goes loopy, as she can't really compose herself. She's not really all there from the first kick. She kicks her again, and that's what knocks her out for a second. And the thing that makes it even worse is when somebody gets knocked out, you're supposed to leave them and don't touch them because you don't know what the issue is with them. Mm-hmm. But damn, Brie grabs her and tries to drag her over to the corner, rolls her over for a pin attempt, and then drags her into the corner. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to move somebody when they get knocked out. As you see in UFC, when somebody gets knocked out, the referee jumps on top of them to make sure the opponent doesn't, keep trying to fight, and they don't move them until they can move on their own. So with that, they tried to get Liv Morgan out of the ring. Liv Morgan got out of the ring and got back up on the apron. The word going around is that Sarah Logan tried to tell her, hey, get down, and Liv Morgan wouldn't. Then they went for a suplex spot, and Liv thought, oh, that's the planned spot, I got to do it. Some say that Liv was basically on autopilot. She knew of that big suplex spot was supposed to take place, so she jumped in and did it. At this same time, I don't know exactly who, but an official from Gorilla was yelling over the earpiece the referee has, get Liv Morgan out of that damn ring. I don't know if that was exact words, but it was basically referee was being yelled at to get Liv out of the ring. So they do the suplex spot, and you can see Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott physically take Liv and get her out of the ring and hold her down at ringside, basically telling her, don't get back in this ring. So then there's a spot where you got Brie Bella fighting with Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan, usually you catapult somebody into the corner. Well, because the whole Liv thing happened, Ruby called this spot an audible. She said, hey, let's do this really fast. It was supposed to be Sarah Logan catapults Brie. Brie's going to come up towards the side of the ring, bounce off the ropes, and Ruby's going to be right there to hit Brie with a forearm.
Correct.
Well, I don't know what Brie heard, but Brie gets catapulted, and she hits Ruby with a forearm square in the mouth, and you see Ruby looking pissed.
Oh, yeah. I would be.
So
too.
it's not that, I know a lot of people are trying to say it was accident. Accidents happen. Don't be mad at Brie. But Brie has botched in almost every match she's had since returning. She botched another spot in that match after the kicks. So it's just like, I don't know. And now we're hearing that, with essentially 9 days until the Australia show, if she's got a concussion, any sort of concussion, I don't think she's going to even get cleared to fly to Australia, let alone wrestle anywhere.
Yeah, no, she's. I don't think she's gonna.
So what do they do with that match? Do they just do a handicap? Do they add an extra random third woman to the to the Riot Squad? Or do they change it and do like Sarah and Ruby versus the Bellas, or Sarah and Ruby versus Nikki and Ronda? Because remember, next week on Raw is Ronda versus Ruby.
I really don't know, to be honest with you, dude.
But they
Really
have
don't
to do
know.
the match because that match is supposed to be basically the setup for Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella at Evolution.
Right.
If if nothing gets changed. That's what we've heard. So
It was just a really unfortunate thing, and it just looked.
Julian said, when did Logan break kayfabe? Well, I mean, as soon as they knew Liv was hurt, they were just like, we got to get her to not want to wrestle. And the weird thing, too, it's like you can tell as soon as she took that first kick, something was off. She took the second kick, and the way she fell to the mat, you could tell she was knocked out. How did that referee not realize it when he was literally standing a foot or two away from them in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he would have noticed that, he should have jumped in and be like, don't move her. This is what we're going to do. And then the wrestlers can call another move on the fly like they did.
Yeah, we're not going to beat a dead horse anymore. I mean,
Israel Russell, yes, she has botched on SmackDown as well. When she's supposed to throw those worked punches at the Miz, twice she clocked the Miz right in the face.
Yeah, they were completely real. Ladies and gentlemen, I know how much you loved hearing about that Brie Bella stuff once again, so we're going to leave it there for now, and I'm going to run down the New Japan Pro Wrestling Fighting Spirit Unleashed card. It's another U.S. show. They're returning to Long Beach at the Walter Pyramid on the Long Beach campus, Long Beach State campus. Do you know what their baseball team is called? Do you know their team name? Take a guess. What do you think the LBC is?
Oh, I know this.
Do you? Take a guess.
I'm probably getting a mix up with UCLA. What is it?
They're the Long Beach State Dirtbags.
Dirtbags?
Dirtbags. Look it
What
up.
the
Thank you,
hell?
Kristen, for the $4. Bella Twins attack Ronda after the big win. Definitely could be. So I'm going to talk about the card real quick. With the first match, with a 20-minute time limit, it is a 6-man tag, pitting ACH, Taguchi, and Jushin Thunder Liger, taking on Sho, Yo, and Rocky Romero. I had to fit the Yo. I had to fit the Yo in there, which should be a lot of fun. In the second match on the card, it is a tag team match. What is it? SoCal Uncensored? Frankie Kazarian.
I mean, you can call them SoCal Uncensored. You can call them The Addiction. You can call them, they got a lot of different names.
They got Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels taking on two members of the Bullet Club, the Crown Jewel Chase Owens and Hangman Adam Page. And if you guys want to know a little bit more about Adam Page, head over to Fightful's YouTube channel, where they have a Making a Finisher with Adam Page, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's literally the wrestler talking about making their finishing move. It's super, super cool. In the third match, another 20-minute time limit. It's another 6-man tag with Flip Gordon, Chris Sabin, and Jeff Cobb, the winner of... Wasn't he the winner of...
Spoiler alert. He's the winner of Bola.
He was the winner of Bola, taking on Chucky T, Beretta, and Goto. In the fourth match, with a 30-minute time limit, it is another 6-man tag. Lots of 6-man tags on this card.
That's normal New Japan.
Evil and Sonata, Tetsuya Naito, taking on Davey Boy Smith Jr., Lance Archer, and Zack Sabre Jr.
I really hope that, wow, I just went blank. Taka is there. I really hope Taka's there to announce Zack.
Oh, me too. With a fifth match on the card, 30-minute time limit, it is a tag team match. Kushida and Tanahashi taking on Gato and Jay White.
You know who's taking the pin in that match. That's obvious.
Kushida?
No.
Gato?
Yeah.
In the sixth match, a 60-minute time limit, it is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship Tournament semifinal. it will be Will Ospreay versus the villain Marty Scurll. With the 7th match on the card, with a 60-minute time limit for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, the champions, the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, will be defending against Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, the Gorillas of Destiny, or as the Gorillas of Destiny have called it, basically, Bullet Club versus the Elite. With
Bullet
the 8th
Club
match,
OG.
Bullet Club OG. With the 8th match on the card with a 60-minute time limit, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match, champion Juice Robinson will be defending his title against Cody,
The NWA champion.
the NWA champion. Wonder if he comes out with that belt.
Oh,
Wonder if
yeah.
he has it.
Oh, yeah.
With the 9th match and the main event of the evening, with a 60-minute time limit, it is a special tag match with Ishii and Okada taking on the Golden Lovers, Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. That is your Fighting Spirit Unleashed card.
You know the crazy thing? I mean, I don't know how crazy it is. So there's a lot of ROH guys on this card. You got Flip, you got SoCal Uncensored, you got the Bucks, Cody. Friday night, they have a pay-per-view in Vegas. Saturday night, they have ROH TV tapings in Vegas. Then Sunday, they got to get to LA for this show. They're going to be tired.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be exhausted. But that's the price you pay as a wrestler. Alex, dude, I agree with you. It is a very meh card. It's not.
Plus, they announced most of it last minute.
They not only did they announce most of it last minute, it's literally what?
What?
2 singles matches?
But that's a normal New Japan card.
Right.
A bunch of tags and 2, maybe 3 singles matches.
Right, but it's just like, man, you saved all these tag matches for a week before the event? Oh boy, cool, exciting.
I mean, they're going to say, well, you've got 2 titles on the line and a title opportunity.
Sergio Gomez, or no, Christopher Strikeleather says, is Fighting Spirit going to be on TV? So it will be live on New Japan World.
Yes.
On the 30th of September. God, we're so close to October. It's spooky season. And it will be on Access TV on the 5th of October, 5th or 6th of October. 6th.
Friday, the following Friday.
The following Friday, which I believe is the... No, that's the 5th, because I get paid on that.
Yes, 5th.
That's when my direct deposit. So on the 5th.
Yep.
It will be on Access Television.
And, I mean, I think it should be a good show. I mean, like I said, that's how most New Japan shows go. You've got a bunch of tag team matches to get as many people on the show as possible. And then you have your 2 big singles matches. I just don't know why. Something's got to happen in that tag team main event match for them to make it the main event.
New Japan? Yeah.
Because I know,
go down there.
You know, they still need to do Kenny Omega versus Ibushi with the title on the line before Wrestle Kingdom. Because Ibushi did beat Omega in G1.
Correct.
So you could set that up somehow where they win, and then after the match, Ibushi makes the challenge. Maybe they pin Ishii. Maybe Omega pins Ishii, looks strong as the champion, and then Ibushi makes the challenge for, I want to say, Kings of Pro Wrestling, like a week or 2 later.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. They have no choice.
Well, I mean, they can go other directions, but I mean, that's what I think should happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But that's probably what would make the most sense to. All in 2.
So let me read the quote from Cody about All in 2.
Go ahead and pull up that quote. While you do, I'm going to look at chat real quick. Travis Ray says, I hope my New Japan Pro Wrestling World doesn't cancel on me like it did during the G1 Climax Long Beach. Yeah, no. That would suck. Major Tom 311 says, I
Wait,
like
wait, wait.
that.
He said that it canceled on him during the G1 climax in Long Beach.
No, it just said it did on that day. Like it
Right,
might
it
have.
wouldn't let him load that show. Is that what he's trying to say? Because that show, if you live in the States, that show was not available for you on New Japan World in the States. You had to watch it on Access. That's the difference between this. This is the first US show that is going to be available for US people, US viewers on New Japan World. Previously, if you lived in the United States, you couldn't watch it live on New Japan World. So maybe that's where, if I read his comment right.
Yeah, no. I get what you mean.
Yeah, so that's where people might be confused too. Don't try to go to Access. If you try to go and watch this on Access, you'll watch X Factor UK.
I mean, hey, if you want to watch X Factor UK, hey, do your thing.
So, Cody put out another video on his YouTube. He said it's the last All Us, which is probably not the last, but it's the last for now. And at the very end, he said the following quote. There is a question of whether we do it again. And the best answer I can give you is, it could have been a great night at the matches in Chicago, for sure. That is all it could have been. But it felt like more. It felt like a revolution, and revolutions aren't just one night. That's a huge tease as far as him saying, this felt like a revolution, and revolutions need to continue. Now, this isn't the only time they've teased All In 2. Also, they have not done a Being the Elite episode since the week after All In. In that video, there's a final scene where Kenny Omega's with Cody and Pharaoh in their hotel room.
Correct.
Kenny's apologizing to Pharaoh and Cody. And Brandy walks in and he apologizes to Brandy for everything that's happened throughout the year. And then Flip comes out of their bathroom. Flip said his bathroom wasn't working. And then right before he walks out of the room, he goes, "All right, Cody, I'll see you at All In 2. Kenny then smells something stanky from the bathroom and says, "Do you mean All In poo?" But that wasn't the only other tease. So the day after All In, they still had StarCast going on. They did a special episode of Jim Ross's podcast where Cody was a guest. Cody did state to Jim Ross when he said, "So, you boys going to do another one?" And Cody goes, "Maybe we're already planning it. Who knows?" So,
Yeah, they're probably planning it. I mean, it probably has to be happened.
but here's the question. Here's the question. They can plan it. But what if one of them or two of them decide, screw it, we're taking that WWE money when the offer comes at the end of the year?
You raise a great argument there.
Because Cody was like, I won't do this without the Bucks. Bucks have said that they won't do this again without Cody. Cody and the Bucks, Hangman, Kenny.
I gotta make the assumption that if they do sign a WWE contract, there's going to have to be some, like, I'm not saying the freedom of All In, but there has to be some kind of freedom in that contract to be a little bit.
I highly doubt it, because WWE is not going to set a precedence of, so these guys can make a name for themselves on the indies, come into WWE and get whatever they want. WWE is not going to do that. They're not going to.
I'm not saying get whatever they want. Remember when Punk demanded certain things and they realized this dude's money?
That was after he made them money, not made himself money.
Right. But here's the thing. The Young Bucks are going to come in, and any one of those Bullet Club guys, Omega, the Bucks, any of them, they're going to walk in, and WWE is going to skyrocket when it comes to stocks. They're going to make a ton of money on their network sales, on signups, on if people still have to buy pay-per-views in some places. I don't know if that's still a thing. They're going to get a ton more viewership on their weekly shows like SmackDown and Raw. These last 2 weeks, their last week on Raw, they got some of the lowest numbers of all time. Could you imagine what the numbers would look like? They'd look like Attitude Era numbers. They'd look even higher.
Now, that's if Vince doesn't take one look at the Young Bucks and go, put them on 205 Live.
He'll take one look at the Young Bucks and say, put them on 205 Live, and then Triple H will say, well, take a look at their merch sales. And he goes, put them on the main roster, give them 2 shirts and watch them sell $1 million worth of t-shirts. I guarantee you, he may not like them, but I'll tell you what Vince McMahon probably does like is money. And these guys are a money printing machine.
I mean,
You
Cody's...
put them in front of anything, they are going to give you money. Think about their Hot Topic sales.
Oh,
Look at how well. When I worked at Hot Topic for a little bit, their shirts were some of the hottest things that I'd ever have to sell. I was ringing up 4 or 5 shirts at a time per customer when new ones would come out. When the Joey Ryan shirts came out, I was doing the same thing. People like the Young Bucks. People like the Bullet Club. It's accessible. Now, if they ever signed with WWE, could you imagine how much money WWE would be making? Because if you don't know, WWE is also in Hot Topic.
Exactly. And I just lost my thought.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to go on a little bit here. They are money printing machines. They are some of the easiest. They look like just very easy guys to work with. Give them a little bit of creative freedom. Let them have a little bit of input on what they're doing. Let them, okay. So WWE really likes someone based off their theme song. I've learned. If they buy the rights of a real theme song, CM Punk with cult of personality, Ronda Rousey with bad reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Bucks. They'll probably use their own song. Maybe they'll buy the rights to the old New Japan song.
I doubt New Japan will give up anything Bullet Club to the WWE.
Well, I mean, the song is, they made their song.
Now, remember this though. The Bucks, them and Kenny are smart because they own the name The Elite, not New Japan. When they realize that they can make a lot of money on their own, yes, they're still associated with Bullet Club, but if they went and did some more things on their own, get their own name, own that name, and that's when they came up with The Elite. They own the name The Elite, from the best of my knowledge, from what I've heard.
They do own it, yes.
And what I was going to say before has to do with Cody. Cody stated 2017, he legitimately made at least $1 million. He never had a $1 million year in WWE. You think he can now get a $1 million contract with WWE?
Nah. No, they probably resent that, man. Leaving and doing better? No.
So, why would he want to come to WWE then if he's not going to make as much money as he's making on the indies? I'm not
saying Cody's coming. One's saying Cody's coming.
But Cody, the Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman all said that wherever they're going when their contracts expire is the same place. They're sticking together. So if the Bucks want to go to WWE, that would mean Cody's going to come. Kenny, Hangman. You know what I mean?
Would they be the Elite? I guess they would be the Elite at that point.
I guess they could be. They can do what Nakamura did. Nakamura, that's his, owns his name. But Nakamura signed a deal with WWE where they don't own the name Shinsuke Nakamura, but he signed a contract where they have the rights to do anything they want with said name while he's under contract to the company. So they could do something similar where they own the trademark and the name The Elite, but give WWE the access to do anything they want with it.
There's a lot of potential.
Yes.
I think.
And honestly, I don't even know if they know yet.
Yeah, that is the kind of decision is really, really, really hard to make. Alex Rodriguez says, Nick, look when Adam Cole, Owens, Balor, anyone else popular came in that is, so why would this be different? Because I want you to think about it. The Young Bucks are not just 2 people. Guys like Owens, Balor, Cole, those are just people that were on the independent scene that were really good at wrestling. These 2 guys are good at marketing. They're great when it comes to their merch sales. They're pretty good wrestlers, very good storytellers.
They become legit businessmen.
They've become businessmen. They own an enterprise when it comes to the Elite.
YoungBucksMerch.com.
It is a $1 billion program. the Young Bucks surpass independent wrestlers. They are businessmen
Oh yeah.
that are wrestlers. That's the thing. You can be really good at wrestling and not have a mind for business. These two guys are good at wrestling and have a great mind for business.
And I mean, like, with their Being the Elite YouTube channel, that channel legitimately makes probably $50,000 a year. At least.
Exactly.
So,
I want to know what you guys think. What would you guys think of the Elite guys coming over to the WWE? Text it into 510-906-1341. As we begin to slowly wrap up the show, I want to say thank you guys, and I want to let you know that over the weekend, if you notice a little bit of slowdown in uploads, Tim and I will be in Long Beach, California for New Japan Pro Wrestling Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Special thank you to the Access TV people that helped us get the media credentials. We will be doing stuff over there. Ashton Tyler with $10. Is Marty going to the WWE if Cody and the Bucks go? Doubtful.
Now, Marty does live in Orlando now because his girlfriend signed with the company.
Very true.
So, but Marty also did say that he's going to be at MSG for ROH. So I don't know.
Who knows?
Nobody knows. Things can happen between now and then.
We're gonna be in Long Beach. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you guys are going to that Long Beach show, let us know. Let's do a little bit of a tiny little meetup. That'd be cool.
Now, the one last thing I want to talk about with the All In 2, I wanted to get your opinion. You look at the roster, you look at the card for the first one. If there was one superstar that didn't compete, and don't count Jericho, didn't compete at All In 1, who would you want them to bring in for All In 2?
Gold Dust.
He would want to do it.
Who would I want them to bring for All In 2?
Like, there's one wrestler that didn't wrestle on this show. Or if there was somebody in that Battle Royal that you wanted to see in a more prominent match.
Jordan Grace.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
I love her. I guess it just depends on who's available. It just depends on who's...
Very true. Speaking of Jordan Grace, go buy one of her 8x10s. She needs to pay some medical bills.
Please, I love...
Go to either her Twitter account or her website. I think her website's jordangrace.com. I'll double check that.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at PWUn... No, fuck. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Neville.
What about him?
Neville. All In 2. Neville.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Neville.
I thought you just got some news on him or something.
No, Neville.
You scared me.
Follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. Also twitch.tv/ArmWeek. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook/Pro Wrestling ULTD, right here on YouTube. Check out the friends over at Fightful, Fightful.com, or at Fightful Online. Tim, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at TimmyBunny. I'll put a link here in the chat. Go help out Jordan Grace. Buy one of her 8x10s. Buy something. She, unfortunately, last weekend injured herself, injured her foot. She shouldn't be out too long. But now she's got to pay some pretty hefty medical bills. So, like I said, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Go check out her website, all of her merch, and, yeah, give her a little hand.
Yeah. Thank you, folks. We will see you guys later on. We may have a surprise for you on Friday. See you later, folks.
Good night, guys.